Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. Well, this is something. I guess I could say that about anything that I review, because I guess anything I review is something, but, I'm trying to say that for emphasis anyway. New releases from Five Guys. You don't really hear about them all too often because they don't really happen. This started, and I suppose to an extent it still is, as one of those menu hacks, one of those hidden menu items, one of those secret menu items, goes by a few different names. And, to be honest, I myself have never been a fan of those sorts of concepts, and I'll simply tell you why. Not that I don't think a lot of menu hacks or, hidden items or whatever are cool or not. I think they could be fascinating, and I think they could be quite good. But a lot of the time, there's this attitude that comes along with them where it's like, oh, the item just goes by this name, and it's not on the menu, but if you just go there and just order it, the staff will know exactly what you're talking about, and they'll make it for you. And every single time I do that, no matter what establishment it is, I go there, and I order this thing that's not on the menu, and then they're just looking at me like I'm just this idiot out of his mind, and they have no clue what I'm even talking about. And that's happened more than once. So maybe I just have a bad track record, or who knows. But anyway, so I don't do the menu hacks or any of that too often. But this apparently was one that was more or less acknowledged and well known, and now Five Guys decided to make it official. Behold the Patty Melt. What that is it's a grilled cheese sandwich with a burger patty added to it, and thus it's a patty melt. So what it features is two hamburger buns that are upside down. They're grilled. There's two slices of American cheese, and then one beef patty. So it's a grilled cheese sandwich with a burger patty, and thus a patty melt. And for the longest time, this is only a hidden menu item, and one that you could only order, you could customize it. You would just either order it by name, or get a grilled cheese sandwich and then add a patty to it. But now it's on the menu, here to stay. It's official. They finally acknowledged its existence, and I'm going to be trying it out today. So, price-wise, I was going to make a joke about this, but I was worried that people were going to take me seriously, and I didn't want to do that, because it's one of those jokes. Alright, the joke is that I was going to say that the price for the patty melt was $18. And I was worried because I thought people, I think, would actually take that seriously. Because, Five Guys prices, they have a reputation for things being very pricey. The price for the patty melt was actually $10, so still overpriced if you ask me. Very. But nonetheless, I don't think it really comes to anyone as much of a surprise, given that, again, it's Five Guys. So, just gonna try it out. Got it right here. I wasn't sure if it would be good or not, so I also went ahead and I got a bacon burger and some Cajun fries, of course. So I got a backup in case this doesn't work out. Anyway, comes in its little wrapping. Here it is. You can see the beef patty with the two buns and the American cheese. It's a very simple item. Not much to really say about it, so I'll just try it. If there's one thing I think worth mentioning, compared to the ads, the buns don't seem as toasted as they ought to be. bottom one doesn't really even look like it is at all. They say that the buns are supposed to be crispy, but I'm not getting that impression. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be bad or anything. So, let's just try it out now. The patty melt from Five Guys going in. As I was setting up, there was this large, or at least I thought there was, this large flying insect that was buzzing around. I kept looking for it, and I have some insect spray out of view just in case. I wasn't sure what it was. I don't think it was a dragonfly or anything, but maybe it was a wasp or something, and I was ready to take the thing out, but then all of a sudden I don't know where it went or what, but no sign of it. But if it makes another appearance, I'm going to pause the camera and just do what I need to do. I know that anecdote was probably one of the most riveting you've ever heard from me. I'm sure it was. Those Blue Jays are in agreement. That's right, you tell them. So, people might take this the wrong way. I'm sitting here, I'm struggling, and maybe you have every reason to. You might, after I say this, just look at me and say, "Review, brah, are you stupid?" Because I'm sitting here, and again, you might be right to say that, and I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference exactly between this and a cheeseburger, exactly? What I'm talking specifically what I received, and a cheeseburger. I really can't come up with any. Because you think about it. Alright, I understand what it's supposed to be, the grilled cheese aspect, where the bun is supposed to have a quality more akin to, let's say, toast. And it's supposed to have this firmness as opposed to a soft doughiness. I understand that. What I got, however, I think, again, as you could evidently see, is this is more just like a piece of bread. As a matter of fact, it is, just an upside-down bun. But, look at how soft it is. There's no crunch to it or no crisp to it. So, that quality aside, missing that is, what's the difference between a cheeseburger and this? Because I'm not really seeing any whatsoever. Same buns. There's not really any sort of textural difference in what I got. Same American cheese. Same patty. I mean, am I missing something here? Because to me, what I received is like a cheeseburger with upside-down buns. and that's it. It's not really much of a melt. I think the whole melt aspect here is supposed to come down to the texture, again, of the buns especially, and it's supposed to have more of a crisp to it, whereas this, again, just feels like a glorified cheeseburger. Maybe this just went over my head, maybe I'm just missing something, but I don't know, the connection just really isn't happening here. To me, it's like this is a cheeseburger. I think this comes down to preparation. You know, I'm not one to get too many melts, but when I do, of course the aspect, like I said, is that the bread is supposed to have this toast-like consistency. And this, on the other hand, reminds me of, I hate to make this comparison, but some of the melts that I've received from Burger King, for instance, where it's the same thing. They say it's going to be all toasted, and then really it's not. And there's no crisp or crunch to it whatsoever. The bread is actually doughy. So, I mean, otherwise, does it taste good? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Very cheesy. The cheese definitely does have that melty characteristic, so I'll give them that. But like I said, that's not too different, I suppose, from what you would find in one of their cheeseburgers anyway. So that's not necessarily anything brand new. There is a good amount of beef, and it's of good quality, juicy, flavorful, meaty flavor, really cheesy. I mean, you could taste that American cheese in every bite, but other than that, there's not much to say. It's just like it's a cheeseburger. You know, a cheesy cheeseburger for $10. I wish it had that crunch to it. I wish it had that crisp to it. Like I said, that's what this is really missing. It's very oily. No real surprises there. But that, I think, is what this thing is missing. You know? The bun should be, like, well done to an extent, anyway. And instead you could see it's almost barely even... I wouldn't even say it's toasted much. Again, it's just like a cheeseburger with the buns inverted. And I don't think that's what people are necessarily getting or are expecting when they get the patty melt. It's cheesy, yeah. The cheese aspect is there. Tastes alright. And, you know, it's not bad. But I don't think this is, again, what people are really expecting when they get it. They just want it to have that little bit of a textural crunch to it as well, which really does add a lot as far as a grilled cheese is concerned, and then a melt, of course. So, I don't have a ton to really say about this. I think it should have been cooked longer, or at least the bread toasted more. Still tastes okay for what it is, but I am a little let down by it, and it is overpriced as well, $10 for it, but, I mean, it's okay for what it is, but compared to even how it's portrayed in the ads, I was just expecting a bit more out of this, all things considered. I think it needs that crisp to really make this, alright. So therefore, out of 10, I'm going to give the patty melt from Five Guys a 7 out of 10, and that's all that I have for you. Short review, short, straight and to the point. Make sure that it's toasted more, and that's all that I have for you. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.